Here's the saddest part of my recent travel in the Philippines. I spent there almost 2 months, not too long ago when I recorded this video. But before I share the saddest thing, I want to say that this thing influences all of us globally. And I foresee that if we continue with it, that it will soften our kapwa psychology. If you're not familiar in the Filipino culture, it's this sense that you are a part of me and you and I in you. So that exchange of that we are one is the kapwa psychology. Also, to before I get to that saddest part is that the reason why we have to be a little bit more careful, vigilant. I don't want to be a doomsday uh, prepper here because I always want to give you hope when you listen to my videos. But here's what it is. The saddest part is that I even went to different islands. I went to the tip of Palawan. And what you could see is everybody's on their cell phone. Children in the barrio, in the rural areas. And it's very sad because it used to be that children would play more. Certainly, I'm not saying that you will find pockets of places, even in America, where children are still playing, but they are getting to be not the norm, and it's more effortful. As a parent who ensures that there's more free play for my own children, it is harder to find. When you play, you need playmates, so you're like, where are the playmates, and children, there is really a competition, because if you as a parent allow your child to be exposed to short form videos, games, and apps. And I'm not one to say not to do anything of these kinds at all, because this is um, this is the time of our era. And so my proposal is to just be very mindful, even vigilant, because it trains the brain to fire so much. The release of dopamine. Okay. So when you watch children, just watch their eyes. It's like flickering. So you could imagine what that is doing to the brain. And you want actually children to enjoy some slowness. What that brings them is a more regulated body. You could see everywhere now how many children, even adults, are dysregulated. So if you don't know that language, that just means people are having a hard time soothing themselves. There's some people easily could flare up in outbursts in anger. So the social media, the videos, the apps, it feels like for parents that they are calming their children, but they're calming them with a device, a pacifier, in which without the device, if you've seen some videos of children where adults would take their devices and they throw a tantrum. And this is not just for children. Adults are very distracted, and that's why they want to distract their children. It makes sense. There is great research that there is bidirectional influence, that in America, parental stress is said to be a public health crisis now. So, how are you as a parent? Comment below. How's your stress level? And if you are doing okay, what is it that is helping you to balance just life in general? So, why Filipinos are not meant to overuse media? Because they say, oh yeah, Filipinos are very friendly, very hospitable. So it would seem like using social media is a great fit. And I want to say that it's actually not. And I'll give you a few reasons why. First, social media, this platform that we're using, whether you're using TikTok, even the internet, different apps that we have our children use, it's very linear, right? Because you're just talking to the app. There's either you like it or you're not. And it's very based on algorithm. So you are seeing not the whole thing. It used to be that you'll see the whole news in a newspaper, but now imagine having a newspaper where you only see what you want to see, and what that is doing, not just for one person, a community, and then globally. And that's why we are more tribal than ever. We could slow down, my friends. We could slow down. Um, Now, going back, so it's linear, it's actually a low context platform. If you're not familiar with that lingo, there are cultures, Filipino culture is very high context, meaning we talk with our bodies, the tone, the pitch, and of course, all people do that across culture. But there are cultures like the American culture, Canadian culture. There are more low context. They're more direct. They say what they want to say based on what their needs are. So in a high context, there's more consideration for hierarchy. So whether you agree with those things or not doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand that the platform is low context. Okay, and Filipinos are very high context. So what can happen is that we misunderstand each other, because there's always a backstory for the Filipino, or the way they use their body to complete the story. And you might just miss that. The reason for the third one, so it's linear, it's low context, and the language is narrowed down to particular meaning. Usually it's more the westernized meaning, because English is mainly what we use. But even if you translate, like Koreans can translate their language to Korean, but the language base that's used is still based from the coding of the English language. Okay, so meaning the meanings of you speaking pangit, for instance. There's so many meanings for Filipinos, right? We say pangit ang amoy, smells bad. Pangit ang dating, the energy's not good energy. Pangit ng lasa, it doesn't taste good. But in the American lexicon, pangit just means ugly. Okay, so pangit is ugly. And it's very visual. And now we might just think of pangit as ugly in the way from the English version. And we're going to miss a lot. It's almost like having a book, but the pages are torn, because culture is rich, and that's why using this platform is not really the perfect fit. I know it has a lot of advantages. I use it myself, Messenger. I message my mom who lives in the Philippines. Hello, mommy. And so there's a lot of advantages. And just a few things. I'm not saying to not use it, but to be very mindful, especially our children's brain are like sponges. Even adults can just get very addicted using their phone. So here are just a few things that you might want to try out. First, if you don't grab your phone the moment you wake up, if that's your habit. If you're saying, oh yeah, I use it for an alarm clock, which is what I used to do. I just bought a digital one. Or put something next to you. So instead of reaching for your phone, it could be a book, a magazine, something else. Because, reaching for something has become a habit. So you want to give yourself another alternative behavior there. So next is most important, spend time outdoors. We are not part of nature, we are also nature. And our eyes, our pupils, our our irises need the light to understand that, oh, okay, it's time for me to move. There's the sun. This is what we used to do when we didn't have clocks. We go by the sun, the light outside. Next, check in and connect with family. So we become more tribal in that we only connect with people we want to connect. And if somebody says something that we disagree with, or oh, my God, we get offended, we just remove them from our list. And that is not how our we have allowed our relationships with each other's human beings evolve. We were usually trying to connect, work things out. We might say something, but it's all about the recovery. Of course, I'm never saying that you allow yourself to be abused. Okay, so we'll put that in a separate category. So, in a nutshell, my friends, take good care. Take time to get to know your body. I always, when you are into something that's so fast, okay, watching something, entertaining yourself to death, right? Um, Looking always for conveniences, for entertainment. That is actually the opposite of allowing yourself to self regulate, to have a very purposeful, meaning life. So, you are nature, is my message. Spend time outdoors, connect with people, and just manage how you use your platform and your devices, especially protecting our children's brain. I'm Roanne Digia Samuels. I'm a licensed psychotherapist here in California. You want to read my blogs or be part of my weekly love notes, I call it. Just sign up in the description, the link below in the description. I hope you're doing well and please take good care. Bye now.